Hey guys, and welcome back to part 3 of the multiplayer save reviews. We are at the end of the season. We completed it. Day of recording is the 18th of September, so we actually finished this 2 days ago. I think this is probably going to be the last season we do. We've made transfers and we've got through the pre-season, but I don't think that with our schedules we're actually going to be able to get another season out. So, let's just start, because this was a big season. If we look at the Premier League, Liverpool won the league, 95 points. Man U come in second with 79. I came third with 78, and Matt finished in 14th place. It was an atrocious season from Matt. But I do just want to talk about Liverpool in this save. They conceded 19 goals in a season. I don't know what the record is. But after 20, I think it was 25 games, Alisson had 21 clean sheets. So at the end of the season, they fell off a lot. But like, Liverpool were scary. They were a scary team. I was kind of solidly top 4 for most of the season. So was Reece. Matt had a little spell where he started pushing for the Europa League, like the European places, but he fell off, and then he didn't just fall off, he capitulated. If we go stages, where's the past positions? So if we just click Man United, so they started really strong, had a little drop, and then were kind of consistently in and around the top 4 for the rest of the season, a little spell at the end. We came in, and as I said, we were pretty comfortable for most of the season. And then, I'm just going to get rid of both of these because you need to see the Villa one. You know, kind of up to 6th, then drop. And then, yeah, plateaued towards the end of the season. But it was not by any means particularly strong. So if we just look at the cup competitions, we'll start with the FA Cup. The English FA Cup. Liverpool won that. The Carabao Cup. This one hurts to talk about. So, Carabao Cup, as you can see, the holders, the final, it was not good. It was an awful game. I think even the match stats will say that. Yeah, look, we definitely deserved to win it, but they got a goal in the 35th minute and just nothing was happening. As you can see by, it was a poor game, and it killed me to not only lose a cup final but to lose to Arsenal. Champions League looked like this. Okay, so we haven't played, the final hasn't been played at this save. It has been played. We will go through that. So if we just go to league phase, so Reece finished 4th, I finished 5th. So then we go round of 16. I beat Valencia 4-1 on aggregate, and Reece beat Arsenal 6-2. Quarterfinals, I lost 4-1 to PSG. It was, the first game was revolting. It was one of them games where you just knew you weren't going to win. Reece getting a 3-1 aggregate win over Barcelona. The semi-final, Reece got a 2-0 aggregate victory over Liverpool. And I will tell you that the final was a 1-0 win to Man United, as PSG didn't have Mbappe or Messi. And the goal was offside and VAR didn't overrule it. To the point that even Reece went, why did you? Because it was Rashford got the ball and laid it past the keeper. And Ramos was behind the goalkeeper, and he just tapped it in. It was going in. He didn't need to. And Reece was like, "Why have you just ruined that perfectly good goal?" But yeah, it was a 1-0 win to Reece. He also then beat PSG in the final of the Club World Cup. But you know, that's kind of what's it. Don't know who won this. I think Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea won this because they ended up getting Champions League football. So if we now go to head-to-head games, so We beat Man United 4-3 in the Community Shield. It was a mess of a game. We were both just like, please, neither of us cared enough about the Community Shield. So yeah, we managed to get a late goal from. To be fair, we were 3-0 up after 28 minutes. Man U were back to 3-2, and then we beat 2 goals from Marcus Thuram, sealed the victory over Villa. We then lost to Reece in the Premier League 2-1. Noni Modueki goal against, the club he came through the academy of. Then we played Man U in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, and we won 5-4. One of the things that me and Reece have our games are always usually 1-0s or 2-1s, kind of decided by a mistake or the game being a piece of shit kind of thing. This season, our goals there was goals in them. We then played him again and we won 3-2. A Hyun-Min Son 70th minute winner after being 2-0 down. We then beat Matt's Villa again with him getting a late consolation. We then played Matt in the FA Cup and we beat him again. Was there any other... Did we play against either of them again? No. So if we now go to Villa and we look at their head-to-head, and to be fair, you can look at the schedule. It's just, it's kind of okay form. Needs to turn some of these losses to wins, and then it's like, we're gonna, them 3 wins don't count because they were friendlies. He actually, in the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the final 10 games, he got 2 wins and a draw. But against Man United, Matt got demolished 5-1 away at Old Trafford, and at home, he lost 3-1. It was not... As I've said, it was not a good season for Matt. Transfer-wise, so if we'll start with Matt, players he bought in. So he bought in Valentin Gendry from Salento for $2.5 million. Really good signing by him. Firmino came in. He was a good signing because he scored 8 goals. And I'm pretty sure it was his top goal scorer, but that says what you need to know. He got Brandon Williams on a free. Was not a good signing. He got Ethan Ampadu. So I'm going to let you into a little bit of background into this save and kind of behind the scenes stuff. So I spend a lot of time doing scout reports and team reports. I do a lot of... When the other guys aren't about and I've got some free time, I'll sit here and I'll go through. And so with Matt, I spend a lot of time doing scout reports from him saying, look, this is the weaknesses in your team. This is where you should look to improve. So both of these 2 players here, in Williams and Ampadu, I said to Matt, you should look at signing them because they're utility players. They're, Brandon Williams is, if you have an injury crisis at fullback, you've got a guy that can play right and left back. With Ethan Ampadu, he can play centre back. He can play fucking everywhere. He can do a job in lots of different positions. And with my review for Matt at the end of the season, I said to him, Matt, Ethan Ampadu shouldn't be playing 20 games for your club. Especially not 20 starts in the Premier League. He kept playing him at centre-back and stuff, and I'm like, Matt, he's the guy that you bring in when you're having an injury crisis, not when, you're in poor form. He paid 22.5, rising to 33 for Kyogo Furuhashi. I told him to look at this guy because he'd had a good season with Celtic. He came in, 5 goals, 4 assists isn't bad, especially in a struggling team. And, he gives you the ability. Well, I'm going to talk about Matt's team again at the end of this episode. He brought in Sergino Dest on a loan. Didn't understand it. He cancelled the loan midway through, so he paid 1.5 million for the loan. And the guy played 13 league games in which he only started 4. It was stupid. He then paid 24 million for Samuel Chukwueze. 3 goals, 3 assists from 15 starts. It's not. When you're a team like Villa and you're paying that kind of money on a player, that's not the return you want. He signed Joe Willock, and when he did it, I said, "Why are you doing this?" And he was like, "I need some reinforcement in midfield." And I'm like, "You're paying a guy that realistically can run fast 80 grand to be a backup. Like, what are you doing?" Made 5 appearances in the league. Brought in Arnaud Tenas. This is a guy, he was like, "I'm looking at a goalkeeper." So I gave him players to look at as a goalkeeper. This was not one of the players I gave him. He then signed him, couldn't get a work permit, and you'll see in a minute, he sold Kelleher, which meant he actually had no goalkeeper, no backup goalkeeper, and Lafont did get injured. He then brought in Yahul Yarmouk from Reece on loan. It got to the point where me and Reece kind of said, "Look, here's a couple of players you can have to try and..." It got to the point where we felt bad for him. So Yarmouk came in, 9 games, 1 goal. Was a positive for him, and he also signed Nicolo Ravella on loan from me, because one of the things I've been saying to him the entire time throughout is that he uses Douglas Luiz as his defensive midfielder, as his ball winner. Douglas Luiz is not a ball winner in this game. He's just not very good at that job. And I keep saying to him, you need someone that can win the ball, because your defence is looking so vulnerable because you're just getting absolutely wrecked by teams attacking you and there being no protection. But on the outs, we'll just have a look at the fees. We'll go by fees. So he sold Boubacar Kamara for 31, rising to 40 to Chelsea. It was money you couldn't turn down. John McGinn went to Wolves for 20. Martin Daylight, you'll remember from a previous video, he signed him for like 3.5 million and loaned him back. He sold him for 22, rising to 22. He sold Lucas Digne to PSG for 10. Chambers to Everton for 8. Sold Kevin Kelleher for 8.5 to FC Lorient. Sold Diego Carlos, who made 8 appearances. Were any of them under Matt? Oh, yeah. There you go. What is supposed to be Villa's best defender, and he played him 8 times. And then a youngster that he sold, and then loads of loans. I might actually do a video where we just look at the transfers we made for what would be the 4th season, just because he went a bit crazy with them. So if we go to Man United, look at their transfers. So Reece bought in Dario Osego on a free. It's the first I've seen of this guy. He bought in Antonio Silva from Benfica for 44.5, rising to 69. Been absolutely quality for him. Like, absolutely top draw defender. It was a guy I was looking at, but I am the way I am. He brought in Melvin Bard from Nice here, who has actually been a very good, solid squad player for him. He's rotated in with Malacia, and he's been very good. He got Endrick. We both bid on him, and Endrick turned me down. But Endrick did, barely got any Premier League appearances and stuff because he suffered a cruciate ligament injury, so he hasn't been able to go on and do the things that you expect from him. He signed Charles de Ketelaere. Been okay, 13 goals, 5 assists in 15 starts. Like, not bad. Wasn't a bad signing. Gonzalo Ramos came in. You've seen that he scored an absolute bucket load of goals, 33 in all competitions, and was signed for how much? 34 million. He paid 92 million for Jude Bellingham. Now, this comes after end of 2nd season. I agreed a 92 million fee with Jude Bellingham. And if you haven't noticed about my transfers at Tottenham, is that I am very much big money signings go against me. I can't. It kills me to do it. Like I play the game like I've watched Tottenham do for years, which is spend small amounts on players and make them better. And it's probably why I haven't competed for the title. But I agreed a 92 million fee with him, and Reece said to me, "Oh, in all fairness, I've signed him on personal saves, and he's never been that great for me." And then, start the third season, he went and signed Jude Bellingham for 92 million, who chipped in with 3 goals and 2 assists. So I feel like I made the right decision here. He brought in Cole Hudlin as just like Hamzat Kargbo. Cole Hudlin's an absolute giant, and we signed them for the jokes. Got 2-2 in the FA Cup though, so you can't complain about that. He signed Mitrovic for 47.5. Mitrovic, I think most of his 14 goals came from Fulham. He was like, when Endrick got injured, he was like, I need a backup striker. And I was like, I've been harping on at Matt to sign Mitrovic because Mitrovic has been a goal machine in this save. 22, 23, 27 goals in the league, 18 goals. He had 11. There you go. He got 3 in 14 games for Man United. But I was like, sign him, chipped in with a few goals. He also signed Enzo Fernandez for 45, rising to 117. So that was Reece's business. On the outs, Evan Nilsson left to go to PSG. PSG put the bid in, and Evan Nilsson was like, I want to go. He sold Jadon Sancho to Barcelona for 49.5. He sold Rafael Varane for 15. You're probably thinking that's a very small amount of money to sell someone like Rafael Varane. And to be fair, even Evan Nilsson, that was a small amount because he'd only been at the club for a year. He's now valued at 200 million. So, at the start of the season, Man U's finances were bad. They were very, very bad. To the point of Reece was given less than £1 million on transfers. And some of it came down to Varane was on stupid wages, Casemiro's on 300k a week. And a lot of it wasn't actually down to Reece, it was just debts and that Man U had piling up. But he had a spell where he couldn't sell players for big money and he needed to get some money in. But he also sold Donny van der Beek for 15 to Leicester, Luke Shaw to Bayern, Amari Forson went to Brentford for 10, Gore went to Palace for 8 for Sharari, and a bunch of youngsters. Released Anthony Martial. So that was his business. Now, if we go to our business, we've got some business going on. Okay, so we got Ravella on a free. Honestly, I looked at him and was just like, on a Bosman, his stats aren't bad. I'll make a bit of money out of this. We paid 47 million for Dominic Szoboszlai. I was looking for a creative player to rotate with Kulusevski, and I also wanted him to be able to take a set piece because we really lacked that at the club. So I felt like he was a decent signing. We signed Joel Altara from Derby. Kid's 18, was 17 when we signed him, was already playing for the under-21s. We got him for, was it 5 million? 4 million. And I think for 4 million as a centre-back, he's a very good piece of business. Good aggression, good heading, good tackling. Physically he's pretty good. Really good potential. I feel like he was one that I really wanted to see, and I'm sad I only got him now. We bought in Alex Scott from Bristol Rovers for 10, rising to 20. It was more, let's sign young English centre midfielders because, as always, we have problems with homegrown. We signed Nicola Trasoldi for 43 million. I didn't realise I spent that much. Oh my God, I didn't realise I spent that much. Especially considering he's made 7 substitute appearances. But I brought him in because he was 6 foot, wonder kid. I felt like he's very different to Dane Scarlett, and that's what I wanted. We then brought in Mark Bolton, a youngster from Bristol City. He's a left back, nowhere near the finished article. Probably won't reach his potential, but 1.5 million. I weren't too upset about it. We brought in Luis Jr. for 12.5 as a backup goalkeeper, and I looked at him and went, do you know what? He comes in, he's very good, could get better. Worst case scenario, I'll sell him on. Best case scenario, he'll really push Trubin for that spot. And then final signing we made was Romeo Lavia. Now, we've signed him. I triggered his release clause when Southampton got relegated, which was 38.5 million. We've signed him because, one, we needed that backup to Yves Bissouma. Yves Bissouma plays as our deep line playmaker on defend. We needed someone that could do that. Because when I was playing Oliver Skip there, he didn't quite have the physicality for it. But Lavia is also homegrown, so he eases that, and he allowed us to sell on. We did sell we sold a few players in this summer. But on the outs, Thomas Lemar went to PSG for 30 million, rising to 37. For a guy that we paid, 1.6 plus Ben Davis. That's fantastic business. Ivan Toney left at Everton. That was a big loss. He did not do well for us. How did he do for Everton? He got 11 goals, which isn't appalling. He only got 2 for us. So, Tango Nobeli left and joined Southampton for 3.5 million. Fabricio Diaz joined Notts Forest for 2.1, Winks for 1, Chavez for 1, and then it's just youngsters. Is there anything else we should look at? If we just go back to the league, as you will see, the robot did robot things and got 41 in 38. It was just frustrating. To be fair, if we go here, we can have a look at the free squads. So, Trubin played 56 games for us. Heung-min Son, 49. Jaffet, 48. Basuma, 46. Adogi. You know, we had very good... We did all right this season. Like, I'm unhappy we didn't win a trophy because we don't count the Community Shield, but... Goals-wise, Harry Kane chipped in with 25 in all competitions, and Dane Scarlett chipped in with 22, Son getting 16, Szoboszlai getting 12, Marcus Thuram hitting double figures again. 3 years in a row. For the 12 million I paid for him, he's been the signing of dreams. Assist-wise, Kefren Thuram got 13. He would have got more, but he had so many injuries throughout the season. He is, fantastic. He was quality for us. Son chipping in with 12, Hlozic 12. Hlozic got a lot of game time because Thuram spent a lot of time injured. But tactically, this is how we line up. Basuma in there, and to be fair, this season we've spent a lot of it lined up and then Kefram comes in there. And Szoboszlai out. This has been our kind of our go-to starting 11, and this midfield three has been fantastic. Son has been fantastic. Scarlett's done really well. Kane done his usual ups and downs with goals, and Scarlett really did take a lot of pressure off of us. If we then go to Man U. So appearance-wise for Man United, Mannion made 56, and then you're looking at Rashford, Ramos, and Scalvini. Goals-wise, Ramos got 32, Rashford 22, De Ketelaere 17, Madueke getting 10, and Anthony getting 10, which isn't bad. Assist-wise, Rashford got 14, Anthony 12, Molina 10, Asensio coming in with 9 and 8. So, and as you can see, the goals were shared around pretty well. So it's it didn't go too badly for him. And then Villa, you'll see the problem. So if we go appearances, McAllister made 36 appearances, Lafont with 34, James Prowse with 33. We did find out I looked at the Premier League stats, and one of the big issues with James Ward-Prowse was he was giving the ball away so much. But goals-wise... Firmino with 8, McAllister with 7, Watkins with 6, and only starting 14 games. 5. This is, as it has been bar the first season, the 2 seasons since that has been the big problem. Singo chipping in with 8 assists, McAllister with 5. And that's one of the annoying things that with Matt and Villa is that, and you'll see, there's going to be at least one more video. There might be two. I want to do a video where I talk about the save and kind of talk about the best players that we had. I've already asked the guys for their best players and all that. But I also, the summer we're currently doing, he's bought in so many players and he's like, I need a right back. And I'm like, but Gendry did all right. Like, okay, his match rating isn't great, but like, when he played, he did all right. And you've got Singo, who's, 8 assists, is better than anyone in your team. He's got the best average rating. Like, where is... Why have I only got last 5 games average rating? But like, and he just wants to get rid of him. He's like, McAllister can go. And I'm like, these are your best players. Like, and it's not like they're your best players. It's not like they're the best players at the detriment of the rest of his team. They are your best players. If we look at your squad, like, and I've said this to him, you've got so many players here who can do the, and even a couple up here. Oh, and Chuck Weezy, you throw Chuck Weezy in there. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 7. You've got 7 players that can play as wingers and as a striker, and McAllister can do the same. Like, none of them are out and out strikers, and then the out and out strikers he does have is Firmino and Rory Wilson. Like, it's probably, and then he was looking at more wingers, and I'm like, stop looking at wingers, go and get yourself an out and out striker, a focal point. But I think that is where we're going to end this my TED talk. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure you smash that like button down below, and if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. The support really does mean the world to me. We're going to hit the FM24 grind really hard, and there'll be videos very consistently. I have been Justin. Thank you for watching, and you have had just enough.